What's up, you beautiful collectors and action figure fans? It's the one and only Optibotimus coming at you with another video review. And on today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at the new Transformers Power of the Primes Leader Class Optimus Prime. For the package, you got that really nice Transformers text with the Generation logo. Of course, you got an open window that fully showcases Optimus and all of his accessories. And then here in the front, you have a gorgeous image of Optimus Prime, with the side here being Orion Pax. Now, these new Leader Class figures are evolution figures, which when you come around here to the back, what that basically means is that this figure incorporates both Orion Pax and Optimus Prime. And then utilizing the trailer for Optimus, or just the trailer in general, it transforms to create basically the body for Optimus Prime, and then you take Orion, transform that, and put that in there, and you get the full look, which is a really cool concept. And then as being part of the Power of the Primes line, all the different Prime Masters can be incorporated with the Matrix of Leadership that Optimus comes with, and you can, swap out the powers and stuff, but he specifically does come with the Matrix of Leadership. And it says, when the humble Orion Pax becomes the bearer of the Matrix of Leadership, he evolves to become the noble Optimus Prime. Like I said, really fun concept. The theory for it is really very neat. Much like when I saw Rodimus Prime at San Diego Comic-Con, I was a little bit put off by some of the aspects of the actual figure here, but there was a lot that I did like, especially, the look here looks really good. But for the packaging on this guy, that's about it. So without further ado, let's get him out here and see how cool he actually is. Alright guys, so here we have Optimus Prime opened up and out of his packaging. And obviously, much like all of these Power of the Prime figures, Optimus does come with this collector card. You got that really nice image of Optimus there in the front. Then you come around in the back, and this one is specifically the Optimus Alpha Trion. And it says that it allows him to speak with insight directly from Primus. Alright, not sure. I guess the Matrix should do that already, but whatever. And here we have his vehicle mode. And I'm sorry, this thing looks terrible. I get what they were going with, and it's a good concept, I guess, just really not executed very well. There's a lot of stuff that they have to cram in this, so I understand it. And yes, it's a toy. I get all that. It's just, to me, it really doesn't come across very well. A lot of areas just look like it's exploded. So first, you can see that he does have the little trailer hitch. You can roll that around. You do have some weapon storage on the top here. This is his accessory. It comes with his gun, which I love this gun. This screams G1 Optimus all day long. You can separate it, and on the top here, you got some peg holes that you can probably cram that in there. It's a bit of a tight fit, so I don't know if they really intend for you to do that, but you can do that. You do also have this section right here where putting this together, you got these two little pegs. You kind of have to squeeze away and then take this and kind of fit it in there. You got two holes. You got one here and here, so I guess you can put it really in either, but kind of spread that out. And then a lot of times, it'll probably detach everything. So you just kind of squeeze it all back together. You can store it like that. It can also then swivel, so it can be like a cannon of sorts. I did actually see somewhere on Twitter also, this is kind of a cool idea. So you have this, and unfortunately, it doesn't have a thing that allows you to stand it up. What you can do, and I saw this, and I don't remember who it was that pointed this out, so I do apologize for not being able to give you credit, but you can plug that in there, bring that around like so, and then it has a little kickstand. And that puts it perfectly straight, which is cool. And then you can take this maybe, and you can still keep this like stored down there. So that's kind of a cool concept, I guess. But when you do that, you can't really use it for that. So you would have to take it off to attach it back to the front section. But personal preference, do what you want with it. So setting that there. Now let's take a look at this guy. From the front, not bad. I think it kind of looks a little bit weird with these big giant sections that make it bow out, but not bad. Yes, you can see he's got the matrix of leadership right there. Yay. This back section, though, is atrocious. Now, I do want to comment on like a controversy. And here, look, I can bring out the instructions too. This back section right here shows that his arms remain up. The lower section of his arms, it shows it remaining up through the entire process all the way till you look at the back. That's clearly up. And I do not have it transformed that way. Now, we have known Hasbro many times in the past to get instructions wrong. So I think that this is a case where the instructions are wrong. We've also seen it many times with just promotional images, the figures being transformed wrong. Now, the instructions show you leaving them up like this. You can do that. And then again, you put that there. I don't think that looks good either. I mean, neither way I think really looks good. But the reason why I don't think that this is the proper configuration is because this doesn't tab into anything. It just kind of sits there, and there's no locking for this whatsoever. So this is constantly flopping around. Now, if you look closely, there are these little clear tabs here and here that you have little slots right here. Now, I'm not trying to come down on Bolt Matrix. Please do not think that at all. But he did an update video where he said that these are basically like air vents or something. I would definitely agree with that if it didn't have this section molded out, and he said that these are not peg holes. Well, I think that they are. I think that by having this piece come out like that, it's utilizing what they put there already to come down and slot right there, which does so perfectly. I mean, you can see you just tuck that in. That has to go in, and then that lines up, and it perfectly goes there. So I'm not coming down on anybody. Please don't think that. Enough people are already going to think that I'm trying to badmouth Spada, and I'm not. I think that these are meant to be brought down and locked into place, because otherwise there is zero purpose for those little pieces to be there. You rotate that around, and it helps to fill in that whole area there, but there doesn't, I mean, you don't need to have that there. There's literally no purpose to that being there, because it doesn't really do much. I mean, you could leave that off and have that be completely cut off, and it still is perfectly lined up with how the hand looks in robot mode. So I do believe that it's meant to come down there and cover that up. So I think this is the proper configuration. Could I be wrong? Absolutely, I could be. Could they be wrong? Absolutely. It's happened before, but regardless, if you put it like this, or if you tuck them up along the back, again, it doesn't tab anywhere, they just kind of sit there, that's also very ugly. Either way, it's ugly. I don't like the way that it looks. Now, people are also saying that this is not the ugliest Optimus Prime that we've gotten, and no, it's not. And they are doing something unique with this, in the fact that they have this transform into Alpha Trion, as well as combining with this to create Optimus Prime. So I understand that there's a lot of gimmick stuff that's thrown in here, which sacrifices this. And I would much prefer to have a better looking robot mode than a truck mode. So it's not a deal breaker by any stretch of the imagination. The Alpha Trion figure and the Optimus really do look good. And I just think that this is a mode that kind of had to be sacrificed. It's almost like he's a triple changer, in the fact that usually one mode with the triple changer suffers. And I think this does. Now, the trailer doesn't look all that bad. I really like what they did. You got some nice silver all throughout it. It's got stickers, which there's a lot of folding here, and there's already some kind of folding of stuff. Again, I hate how they use the stickers. This top section, it's not terrible. It obviously is his arms, but I'm okay with it. I do think that the trailer looks better than the cab. So it is what it is. Now, like I said, the thing that's cool about this guy is that he does come with the Matrix of Leadership. You got that right here. You pull this out. Now, if you remember, Rodimus came with one that was basically the exact same, except his was yellow. But you can see, you can still remove that if you want to. I'm going to bring in the Dinobot Enigma. You can plug that in, although it doesn't. Well, I guess, oh no, I guess it is. When you push all the way back, you could put the Dinobot Enigma in there, give Dino Grimlock the Matrix kind of thing. You can take one of the Prime Masters. I forgot which one this is. I'm terrible with my memory now all of a sudden. And you can put that in there as well. So you don't necessarily have to have the Matrix section in there. You can swap it out with any of the other Titan Return figures, or Prime Masters, anything like that. I think that the Matrix looks gorgeous though. I love the fact that we're getting that. This is a little bit tougher to get in. There we go. Get that wedged in there. I love the nice translucent blue piece here in the back. Really gorgeous. I like how they incorporated that. He can't really hold it or anything, but you can then come around here. And this is a little bit tricky to get this in. You have to kind of hold this and kind of line it up and wedge it in there. Give that a nice little push. And yeah, you can have the Matrix. Kind of, I feel like it's upside down, I guess, when it's like that. Maybe I can put it in like this. Maybe I had it upside down. I don't know. It doesn't feel like it wants to go in there all that easily that way. So yeah, it feels like it fits in there easier that way. So either way, it is what it is. But it's the evolution thing. So this can transform into Alpha Trion. So to do that, first we're going to kind of just pull these arms away, open this, open this up, or like that, angle that, open that, you can angle that like so. These legs, you want to lift this whole piece up, swivel that down like so, take these legs, split them, rotate them out like that, fold out the feet here on the bottom, which is trickier than it should be, because I don't have the fingernail. What is going on here? Why is that so difficult? There we go. And we'll just wedge that in there. There we go. And wedge you out too. So he's got some little feet right there. And you bring this down, and then this section here, you want to hinge this to the back like so. Do that on this side as well. This hinges around to the back, and then swivel these arms out, collapse these in along that side, then fold the hand out, then rotate at the upper part of the bicep. Do that on this side as well. Fold out the hand, rotate that around, bring this up. This will tab into place, fold this back, and there you have Alpha Trion. And this is a really good looking toy. I really like both how Alpha Trion and Optimus look. This guy really does impress me, and it's probably, in my opinion, the best Alpha Trion figure that we've ever gotten. I have just realized that I have been calling this guy Alpha Trion this entire time, and I'm sure there's probably going to be 7,000 comments by this point in time in the video saying, Optibotimus, don't you mean that that's Orion Pax? Yes, I mean this is Orion Pax. I apologize. Sometimes humans make mistakes, and I am a human, so I apologize. But Orion Pax here is a stellar looking figure, except for this. He's got Optimus Prime on his back. Big, I mean, from the back, or the side here, the backpack doesn't look all that bad. But, oh, big, giant Optimus Prime back. Now, again, a lot of this is done to facilitate well, I guess you could go like that. Well, I mean, still kind of looks like Optimus Prime on his back, but I guess it's not as it doesn't stick out as far. So I guess you can do something like that if you wanted to. But I mean, I understand that this is all done again to facilitate the transformation from Orion Pax to Optimus Prime. I get it, and honestly, yes, I know. Everybody has talked about that. For you don't display your figures really from the side, and from the side, he's not bad looking, and people don't display their figures from the back. So it doesn't bother me all that much. And like I said, this is I think I said that this is the best Alpha Trion figure, and that's obviously incorrect, but this is the best Orion Pax figure I think that we've ever gotten. I don't have any. I know that in Gene 1, I think that they repainted Cup to look like Orion Pax, and I think they gave him a different head. The Collector Club has done a few different variations of them, and I think again this is just the best looking version of them. Now obviously, people that don't know, Orion Pax eventually becomes Optimus Prime. So bringing in my Optimus Prime figure, I think that this works. Again, I've talked about the scaling and such. I think that this is a pretty decent size. As you can see, he's a little bit more Voyager size, by way of the old, classic figures than even the new Rodimus Prime or Hot Rod, or whatever you want to call him. I think that this works really very nicely. And for me, I do have like an older Autobot kind of display. I think that this is going to fit perfectly in it. I just love the way that these look. And then for a more modern Voyager, here he is with Grimlock. And again, he's actually maybe a hair taller than Grimlock. So a little bit bigger than that might fit for some people, but I do like it. I think that it is really, really nicely done. You got a nice translucent piece right here. Again, you do have a sticker for the Autobot logo. I wish that was printed in there. Gorgeous head sculpt. I mean, that is really very nice. That is absolutely Orion Pax. It's so very cool. Good paint throughout the whole thing. He does have some stickers down there, which, again, this figure here doesn't have a lot of stickers on him. A lot of the stickers are on the trailer, but overall really nice. One thing I will say though is that I don't like the feet. I mean, they kind of droop up, so if those pins aren't tight, he's going to want to flop forward, and this one is a little bit loose, not terrible or anything, but I could see that would potentially get a little bit weak over time, but really very, very nice. Obviously, again, you can have him hold both of his weapons. You can split that up. You can use that. I kind of like using that one for get that wedged in there for Orion Pax here, just because it's a little bit different looking than this, and this kind of is weird looking, I guess. So I mean, I'm just gonna say that for Optimus. I think that looks really cool. I like that. Now, for the articulation on this guy, the head here is on a bit of a ball joint, it feels like, so you get a little bit of up and down. It does look left and right. The shoulders here are on ball joints, so you get a decent range of motion there. It does get a little bit hampered when going forward because there's a lot of junk here, like the little panel right here. It does kind of hamper it a little when you're moving it up, but you can still kind of force it up there. He rotates at the upper part of the bicep. He's got two joints here at the elbow as kind of part of the transformation. I guess you could kind of say his wrists bend down, and again, you got these little pieces that protrude up that really don't need to. You could shave those down entirely if they were just going to use that as a vent for that, swivel section. You don't need to have that piece come up, I guess. So, or I mean, you do. I mean, it kind of fills in that little gap right there. As you can see, it kind of fills it in, but you don't need it to have a hole. I mean, that could be solid all the way across. Like this little piece right here, where I'm gonna like all up in here, if it'll focus on it. Like all that, it doesn't need to have that there. So I don't know. I just off on a tangent. No rotation at the waist, unfortunately. That does kind of stink. The entire hip section here, though, rotates forward. So the little skirt here moves along with it, and then it moves back. You can move in and out. Rotates at the upper part of the thigh. Bends on slightly soft ratchet joints, and then the feet can pivot forward and back. It doesn't tilt in and out, but it is on kind of like an angle like that. So pretty good. I like that. Now, to go to Optimus Prime, really very simple for this. We're going to just take these. This entire thing is going to kind of like rotate. Well, first let me pull this down, and we're going to pull out Optimus's head. Bring that up like that, and then tuck this down, tuck that in just like so. These arms, we'll fiddle with these here in a bit. Tuck these, or this head section, make sure that's all the way down. That'll slide in there properly. Point the toes back, rotate these legs, and then these come all the way around to the back, and then you have this little tab right here that's going to slot in on the outer side of this yellow bit. So bring that up. It's a little bit tricky to see because it does get dark there. Rotate that all the way around, just kind of line it up as best as you possibly can, which is what I'm trying to do. All right, push that in just like that, and then these are gonna like flex around. We'll play with these here in a bit. They're just gonna kind of hang here for the most part until we get this piece here. So basically you have that done. So set that off to the side. Now this, come around here, you're going to pull this panel away, and then this panel away, fold that up like that. Do that on this side as well. Fold this, and then this whole thing will kind of separate. You can then take these legs, fold these bits out like so. This section here, you're going to rotate this. No, wait, this way. Yeah, well, no, maybe it's not that way. Oh no, it is that way. I just didn't. Okay. Put that back in there. Okay, so you have it like that, fold it like that, fold that piece down, and then this wraps around. You can spread these legs apart if you so desire. Come around here to the back, and this all just wraps around and then tabs in on the inside there. So again, wrap that all the way around, tab that in just like that. Spread these out. This whole part here gets a little bit flippy and confusing at points. Basically, you want to rotate that all the way back. Take this. This is going to collapse down and tab into the fist or the arm section. Lift this up, rotate that around. Take this, bring that down, and then this piece here rotates out. Come around here and kind of leave that out to the side like that. So then again, do this on this side, collapse this around, lock that into place, rotate this up, fold that, and then spin that down and around. Come around here to this, pull this piece out, kind of straighten these out like so. And then take this entire section here, and this is going to come all the way in. Oh wait, take this. Make sure you tuck that down. And then make sure you line this up. And again, gotta fiddle. And this is where I always forget how these arms are supposed to be positioned. I want to say it's something like that. Yeah, maybe it's like that. Fold this around. Yeah. And then you bring this all the way in. That locks into place, and then you fold this, and this is where you can kind of see where things are meant to kind of collapse in. So I guess you can leave those there, leave that collapse all the way in, and then you can bring this, and you can see that these little forearm sections here kind of fit along this, so keep them collapsed in. You can probably tuck the fists away. Probably should have did that. Sorry guys. Rotate that. There you go. Tuck that away, and then that just sits there along the back. Come around here to the front, take these feet, fold these all the way down. You'll hear a click when you push this top section all the way back, just like that. Do that on this side as well. It's a soft kind of lock, but once you feel that click in, there you have Orion Pax transformed, and now as the leader of the Autobots, as Optimus Prime. And this guy really does look terrific. Now, he does have the unfortunate kind of side effect of having some extra bits hanging off of him, but in general, This guy looks really good. Very, very much like G1 Optimus. Large, imposing, very, very cool looking. I think that there's some aspects that they could have done a little bit differently, but for what is here, this is a great looking toy. Now, I don't think that this is going to replace my Classics Optimus. I'll be totally honest. Bringing in that Classics one again, this infinitely looks better, and this is what I really kind of think of when I think of Optimus Prime. That's not to say that this is a bad figure, but I just feel like this one is too big for my collection. This is kind of like masterpiece scale almost. I just feel he's a little bit too big for my personal shelf. That's why this guy still works for me. And then again, bringing in the Voyager class Grimlock, I just feel like he's way oversized. It's definitely a byproduct of what they were trying to incorporate here. And don't get me wrong, I do like it. It's just personal preference wise, I want my figure to be a little bit smaller. Now again, you can see that he does have some sticker detail. The stickers aren't too terribly bad here. They're pretty much flat along smooth, flat surfaces, so it's not terribly bad. The Autobot logos are fairly straight, although this one here droops a little bit more. Then you got the forearm bits, you got some shin sections. I mean, everything else is basically on the trailer. As you can see, because it folds up, it could potentially get some of those frames, I guess, but in general, I think that the sticker detail is pretty good, but he also has some nice paint detail on it. You see nice red. I really do like the tech detail on the inside here of his chest, nice yellow and gray. I kind of do wish that his fists were a blue color just to kind of match more with that overall aesthetic that I personally like, and I'm trying to see here, this is all scuffed up. I don't know how that happened, but the gray doesn't look terrible, but we all know that Optimus has blue fists. Then you get all these little bits right here. You know, I don't know necessarily. I mean, a lot of this, like this is the backside of it. So could you have painted that red to go along with his forearms, and then you would have had this? I guess you could have. I don't know, could you have done something with this? Maybe. Do something with these top bits? Probably. Paint details could have been added in some of those areas to kind of take away some of the gray. But I don't think it's, a huge distractor from it. He does have a bit of a backpack. It does kind of look like some legs just folded up there. It's really not that bad, honestly. I mean, it kind of compresses decently with the other parts that kind of hang out. And then you look down here like this is the underside. This could definitely have been painted blue, I think. I don't see why they really couldn't have done that. Maybe not so much on the inside, but those legs could have totally been done. But I don't think that that's as bad of a detractor as, say, Rodimus Prime's was. I think this here looks pretty decent. Gorgeous head sculpt. I mean, that is Optimus. I mean, that is a gorgeous head sculpt. Kind of light blue eyes in there. It's kind of hard to see. That's pretty decent. I like that. Like I said, I like the tech detail there. You can open his chest and get the matrix. It does get a little bit tricky to do. You can hinge it out like that, and then you do have to open up the intersection, which also can be a little bit tricky, but you can do that and you can still get the matrix, which is nice. A lot of extra opening up in some panels right there, but you can do it. But a solid figure. Both Orion Pax and Optimus Prime here, I think, look really good. As I talked about, it's almost like he's a triple changer in the fact that one mode usually is always one that suffers, and I think that his alt mode definitely does. But that being the case, most people aren't going to display him in his alt mode, and I'm certainly not as well. So what we have here works really, really nicely. Now, for his articulation, the head does appear to be a bit on a ball joint, so you can kind of get it looking left and right. Well, obviously it looks left and right, but it does kind of pivot up and down. It looks down about that far. I did wish it could look up a little bit more. The shoulders here rotate. They also have the hinge in and out, so two separate kind of joint systems right there. He does have a rotation at the elbow. He has a little bit more than 90-degree bend at the elbow. You can see that would be about 90. That's a little bit more than 90. So you do have that. Nothing at the wrist, unfortunately. I don't know why they couldn't have, because that's all molded there. They probably could have put a little wrist rotation in there. Nothing at the waist. That's all locked into place. The hips move forward and back on fairly soft ratchet joints. They swivel in and out. They do have a swivel at the upper part of the thigh. Bends here at the knee. You come down to the ankles and the feet. Some people have talked about this being the ugliest part, and it kind of is because of how thin his ankles look. There's not really much you can do about that. You do have the forward and back, and then it also does tilt in and out, so you can get a pretty decent wide stance with his feet all the way down like so. I mean, you can extend it forward. The ankles are definitely, in my opinion, probably the weakest looking part on this entire figure, and that's even with all the extra robot or the vehicle parts kind of hanging off on him. I mean, it definitely does kind of stand out as thin. But I still think that he came across fairly decently. This really is one of the honestly best looking kind of G1 representations of Optimus Prime that we've gotten from Hasbro. This really did come out looking kind of spot on, and I'm really happy with them. Now, to transform them back, you come around here to the back section. You can kind of move these bits around. Now, unlike Rodimus, where he just sits in there, he actually has a button that releases him, so it does lock in there fairly solidly. So you have to push that down, and then this piece slides out very easily. I do like that. I think that's a much better way of doing it. So setting him off to the side there. Optimus is kind of a floppy kind of thing. So first we're going to rotate these up and then bring them down. Take this up, bring them down and around, and then they're going to swivel in, or well, I always forget exactly how to swivel this around, so we'll fiddle with that later. We're going to open this up. It all comes together fairly easily. It's fairly intuitive, to be totally honest. These are going to collapse up. This is going to collapse up. And then fold this out, 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 and around. And then this whole thing will come around here. You can bring the feet together, tab those in place, and bring these up, and these just kind of sit here. Then you do want to take the little thing, or the waist section here, you want to kind of bend it like that, and that kind of separated that. There you go. Keep that there. These will fold in. We'll do that here in just a second. So then you bring these all the way around like that. Yeah, there we go. And then this whole section is going to open, and this opens as well, and rotate this down, and you're just kind of lining up where everything is going to tab in and fit. So again, you can rotate all this out, pull that away. There we go. Oh wait, oops, hold on. Pull this piece out first, then rotate that, then fold that. There we go. And then hinge this down and around like so, spin that around, and you kind of put that right there, and then you just kind of fit everything together. So you got the hands down here. Go ahead, bring this down, bring this down. This will also tab together. Kind of line this up, bring this in, squeeze that, come to the other side. Again, kind of squeeze all of this into place, just like that. And there you have his trailer done. Really, it is very simple. And then you can take this and fold that out, just like that. Now, for Alpha Trion, again, I did it. Orion Pax. Gosh, Paul. Okay, so we're going to bring these down. If you're going into robot mode, basically, this is what you're doing. You're just folding this out, fold that head in. Look, that's it for him. So transforming him, you're going to take this, bring this back like so. These bits here will rotate, and you can spin these around like that. Bring this back, and oops. Come on, swivel down. No, wait. Come on. There we go. Just like that. Now, you can leave these up. Again, it's your personal preference. I do think that it is meant to come down. It just makes sense. The way that they have those little tiny sections come down. It just makes sense to me. Rotate this around, and then you bring this up, and this will tab in to the underside of the chest. Do that on this side as well. Swivel this up and lock that into place, and then line that little tab up with the chest piece. And that didn't want to line up, so I'm gonna fiddle with this a little. There we go. There's one side. There's the other side. Just give that a nice little push down. Keep the head tucked down. Again, I'm bringing these little bits back and down. You don't have to. It's your toy. Do what you want with it. Fold this out. There you go. Bring this down and around. That locks into place. Spin that down. Accordion this back and around. Lock that into place. Set that there. Make sure that the head's kind of positioned there, and put that on, and there you have Optimus Prime, or Orion Pax, I guess you could say. Either or works, but here you have him back in his vehicle mode. You know, one thing that I wanted to check, I thought would be cool, is if you could have like one of those little guys sit in there, but I don't really see a way that you would tab them in there. You can just have them sit there. I guess you could just fold them up and put them in there if you wanted to have a Titan Master or something drive around in them. But in general, I really do like the way that this figure turned out. I think that what they had going in terms of an idea for the vehicle mode is pretty solid. It works decently. It just, because you have to incorporate so much stuff into it, I think that it suffers a little in terms of the overall look. Not so much the trailer here, but definitely the cab. That being said, from several different angles, I mean, they do a pretty decent job with it. I mean, some nice panels, some nice paint. You got the little gas canisters right there. I mean, it's not bad. It's just, like I said, this whole back section here really does look unattractive. Is it the worst that we've ever gotten? No. I just, for a leader class figure, I kind of wish there was a little bit more put into it. And that's where vehicle mode does kind of disappoint me. The trailer came out pretty decently. I mean, nice detail with the lines. You got some nice stickers. You got that little thing right there, which definitely looks like the G1 trailer. So I think this came out pretty good. I know somebody's going to ask me, you can't really open these. I forgot to do it. I mean, you can open them, but there's no real way to get that to hinge down. Where, I mean, there's area there where you could fit a vehicle, maybe like a Legend class vehicle or something like that. But these don't really hinge down in a very conducive way. But as I said, in terms of like triple changers, there's always one mode that does suffer. And I think in Optimus's case here, this is what suffers. Both robot modes, though, I think look terrific. Orion Pax is gorgeous. It is, in my opinion, the best one that we've ever gotten. Yes, he kind of does have Optimus's chest on his back, but I can kind of forgive that, especially since we have a whole line of weird things on figures' backs. The Optimus figure is the best, though. As I said, in terms of a recreation of a G1 looking Optimus Prime, this is probably the best figure that we've gotten. Regardless of which way you choose to display him in robot mode, I think he's going to look good. For me personally, I'm definitely going the Orion Pax route, just because I feel that the size of Optimus is a little bit too big for me. Especially since the Megatron in my collection is that recent Titans Return Voyager Megatron. A leader class Optimus next to that guy is definitely a little bit too big. So the classic Optimus is still going to be the main Optimus Prime figure in my collection and display. But I love the fact that we have Orion Pax here still. I think overall, the package is pretty good. There are some weak elements of it, but I'm generally very happy with the toy. I think for what they were trying to do, he came out pretty nicely. So all that being said, if the new Power of the Primes Optimus Prime is a figure that you'd like to add to your collection, he is available right now at Big Bad Toy Store. So all you have to do for that is click on the link down in the video description. You'll go to BBTS where you can check out availability on this guy, as well as the rest of the wide range of Transformer figures. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. So once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been Optibotimus. Don't forget that if you like this video, I would really appreciate you letting me know by hitting that thumbs up button. It actually does go a long way towards helping me out, and I would really appreciate it. Also, if you're new here, welcome. And before you go, make sure you subscribe in case you haven't already subscribed. That way you'll get instant email notifications whenever I upload a new video, and you'll never miss out on a future review of mine. Or hey, if you're already subscribed, now more than ever, it's important to make sure that you're getting those email notifications. We all know just how unreliable that YouTube subscription box is, and the best way to make sure that you're not missing any future reviews of mine is to click on that little bell right below this video and double check your settings to make sure that they're set so that you get those email notifications. And as always, until next time, till all are one.